So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt that struggle with the school thing in particular. Actually, whenever you met me at UAB, um, the reason I went there was actually because at UA they were going through a lot of transitions in the computer science department, and I mean, it sounds like I think it might be fixed now, but like the algorithms and data structures course we had at UAB, the equivalent course with the same textbook and some of the same assignments, kind of at UA was basically unpassable. At well, yeah, UA the one at UA was unpassable for most people the first time through. It was like it was the killer class. So many people would take it and take it. I knew somebody who took it 6 times before they just dropped out. But
mm,
um, so that was definitely a concern for me because I didn't have troubles understanding it. It was just it was it was a combination of things really that I just felt were not really a good way to go about administering the program because I took that class I think 2 times and I started taking the third before I just dropped it because the teachers were not really willing to work with the students. But UAB was way better. I came there, I took 5 computer science classes in one semester and I made straight A's. So UAB is a way better learning environment. But that was definitely before that point I was also considering dropping out because I was thinking, hey, if I really want to be in this field, big companies like Google or whatever don't even care about your degree anymore. You can go and teach yourself and prove yourself and develop stuff in your free time. It takes a lot more effort than going to college. And, there's no real guarantee. Like you don't get a piece of paper for that. You kind of have to prove yourself even more. Um, so that's what I thought I was going to have to do. But yeah, been there. It's scary because you're not really sure like where am I going? What am I doing?
yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where I was at because at that point, I already was taking like financial aid and like student loans and all that. So I was like, oh Lord, like if I drop out, then that means I'm gonna have to start paying all this back, which even now, like I know I have a bigger amount that I have to pay. Not as much as if I went to a 4-year college for all 4 years, because I went to a community college the first 2 years. Well, first 2 years took 5.5 years to complete, but the first 2 years technically at community college. But yeah, just I started thinking about that. Like, I almost thought that I was going to school like and like going there in vain, or like it was almost like a waste of time. So but I guess something woke up in me and decided like, oh no, you got this, you're gonna do this. So yeah, it's definitely it can be very scary, especially for me. That first couple of weeks, I felt very like defeated as far as school goes, and I really was thinking about dropping out. But then I was thinking like, you're so close, and I know this is way random and way off topic, but like, do y'all know people that like went to high school senior year and then like right before graduation they drop out? I don't know why, but for some reason I can't understand why people do that.
I mean, there could be a lot of different reasons for that, I guess, or people's personal life circumstances. I don't personally know anybody like that because, uh, well, I mean, I guess it was kind of different. I went to a boarding school and like people got like kicked out there at the end. And I don't know what they ended up doing, but they get sent home for misconduct or something, or, they don't keep their grades up, something like that. But I don't know if I knew anybody who just like flat out dropped out of high school altogether.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, what
but
was the question? Because my computer, I think my signal was like messing up.
oh, I was just wondering, do you personally know anybody that like went to high school like almost all the way up to senior year, and it's like you're almost about time to graduate, and then like they just drop out like a week or two before graduation?
I think we didn't have anybody in my class that did that, but I think like a couple of classes before me, we definitely had some people that did that for sure.
Yeah, which Tony is right. It could be a situation like in their personal life that they could be going through. So yeah, that is true. But when I started thinking about like me almost dropping out of college, I started kind of thinking about that situation, which is way random. But anyways, speaking of school, like did you Donna, did you ever have any like insecurities as far as like schooling goes? Like did you ever feel like you were like not going to pass the class or anything like that?
Yes. Well, it's crazy because I always worry about things, even though when I don't have a reason to worry about it. And that happens to me literally every semester. I'm like, am I doing okay? Like, am I gonna make it? Like, and especially this semester, because I'm taking 6 classes. And one of the classes that I'm taking is a required course. So we have to pass this class to graduate. And it's really hard. It's research methods and statistics. So it's definitely a hard class. And most people usually, there's a lot of people that fail this class, but there are some people that make A's and B's, lots of C's. So right now I have a B and I'm thankful and I'm hoping I can keep it up. I was hoping for an A though, so that way I can keep up my GPA, but because right now I have a 4.0. So if I can make an A, it'll still be a 4.0. And the next semester is my last semester at JSU. So hopefully I can keep it going if I can pass this class with an A. But I'm trying. But it's hard. This past test was on descriptive statistics and inferential statistics, and it was very complex. And so yeah,
Mm.
it was a lot.
Yeah,
It's like
well,
the math is not hard. Like the math is it's fairly easy, but relating it to research and combining it with your complex designs and stuff, like your research designs, it's tough. So,
yeah, well, hopefully you end up getting that grade back up to an A and that you
I
keep
hope
that
so.
4.0 because you're so close to being done. And yeah,
No,
yeah, I would love to see you finish out with the 4.0. That would be awesome.
me too. I'm hoping and praying. So, and studying.
Yeah, I think what your stats is like I took a lot of extra math classes, but I didn't like stats. It's just it's kind of its own thing. And it's like every major has their own version of statistics. It's so weird. So like
It is.
I don't know. It's just annoying.
It is for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it just goes to show that insecurities can come in any and every area of our life, whether it's in school, work, personal life, all of that. So kind of going into my next question, I mean, I've kind of already answered it myself, but I'm gonna kind of go more into depth with my answer. My next question is, has like insecurities always been a struggle for you, even like during your childhood? Or has like insecurity started more as you gotten older, like into your adult life?
Mine started more, I feel like even when I was a kid. Like I remember as a child, like thinking, oh, I wish I had blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, why do I have to have dark hair, dark eyes? Like, would it like, because nobody, like, where I went to school, I mean, I'm half Hispanic and there were no Hispanic kids, like, at all where I went to school when I was a kid. So it was just, I always felt like I looked different. So, but even insecurities with like school and stuff, that's always been a thing too. Like when I was a kid, I always had to be the best at everything I did. And so I was always insecure, thinking that I was not good enough for what I was trying to achieve.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely relate to this one for sure. But before I go further into my answer, I'll let Tony answer the question as well.
Let's see. So yeah, definitely same thing basically. I mean, school, I was kind of a perfectionist to the point of inducing really bad like anxiety just about even little things. Um, I guess it's because like as a young kid, you know, I don't know. I didn't really try very much, but I got good grades anyway. It just kind of is what happened. And then you have your family, they're all like, oh yeah, good job, way to go, great report card this 9 weeks or whatever they do the grading period for. And it's like, well, cool, but then there's like this whole like insecurity of like, well, what if I ever, you know, do not that? You get kind of a complex, like, okay, I got to keep it up, but like I don't know what I'm doing to make it so great at this point, and then whenever I was 10, so going to fourth grade, I moved from where I was living in the DFW area in Texas, all the way to over here in Little Old Alabama. Specifically, it was in southern Alabama, southeastern Alabama, like Enterprise, Fort Rucker area. And that was, I mean, I don't want to say a culture shock because, I'd always lived in the South. I was already familiar with all the, anachronisms or whatever. Granted, people in Alabama are a little bit different than people in Texas, I should say, because a lot of people in Texas, it's like, I don't know, it's just, I guess like, because where I come from was, Dallas, it was still a fairly metropolitan area despite being in the South. So I grew up with people of all kinds of different backgrounds, even going to private school at the time. There was a lot more, I guess, diversity. There was a lot more just different backgrounds represented. And I had different friends who were from all very different cultures. And I was just involved in this very different community, and there was so many more people, of course, in the city. And I was really outgoing. I did extracurricular stuff. And then I came to Alabama, and the first school we went to was this little Christian school, and basically trailers behind a Winn-Dixie. And because that was the only Christian school in the area my parents could find for me. And it was just weird because the people there, we had like maybe 15 people in our class, and they'd all known each other since like, as long as they could remember. They were like, I guess like their moms were friends who went to the same church or something, and they just put their kids in the same private school. And they had known each other all throughout their whole lives, basically, it seemed like. And I wasn't a part of that. I was an outsider. I was a city boy, and coming into this completely different world, I was just, especially being separated from my family at that age, just like, well, this is awkward. I'm awkward, and I don't know where I fit. And that kind of just pervaded until I left, basically.
Mm. Yeah. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. I definitely appreciate y'all both for sharing that, your experiences as far as even having these kind of insecurities even when you were younger, because I could definitely relate to this as well. A lot of it, I know I mentioned it here a few minutes ago, but a lot of it hit hard for me in middle school. And then like as far as even like the grade situation goes, like this is somewhat off topic, but I'm gonna kind of there's a reason why I'm bringing up this story. So like I have 10 siblings, and one of my older brothers, was a straight A student from kindergarten all the way up to college. Like he even graduated college 4.0. He graduated from UAB and like got like to hold a banner and walk, like graduate with his engineering degree. And anyway, he was a straight A student, so I almost felt like the younger ones, like we all, I mean, maybe not all of us felt this way, but I almost felt like you almost had to like stay with that, like, keep up with that 4.0 GPA status. And I definitely was not a honor roll student. I mean, I was every now and then, but like most of the time I was more like an AB honor roll. But I guess I was kind of thinking in my head like, oh no, like I'm not, because I'm an AB honor roll, I'm not as smart as as this, as my brother. So there's almost that insecurity of almost comparing myself to my older brother who made straight A's from 5 years old all the way up until he graduated from college. So yeah, there's definitely that.